Hello everybody. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I did, and then I'm going to try to fit something. First of all, I got to explain something. I put the window and vent window and regulator and tracks and all that stuff inside the driver's side door, and actually got all that working, and then replaced put on the weather stripping around the window and everything. And that's when the problem started. This car was clipped, because I'm gonna go ahead and explain this. Follow along. The car was clipped. It was cut here on both sides and cut at the rocker on both sides. Well, it was only clipped because it hit a tree right here and on the other corner. And the roof was pulled back and over. So when you've got something that's wrecked in the back, it would only make sense for back here to continue into the front. In other words, if something happened back here, it's also going to affect something up here. It's a equal reaction type of thing. So it pulled the A-pillar down. And when I was welding the car back together, I did take a pry bar and bend that back up, but I guess I didn't do it enough, and that didn't show up in measurements. It didn't show up until I started putting this on. So we're touching good here and we're touching good here, but in the middle it swags down. So since it swags down, that means that this is closer to this than it's supposed to be. And when the door, as far forward as it was, you couldn't shut the door. So I pretty well fixed the gap back here, but we're a little wider up here. But that honestly matches that side, because that side is a little bit like that too. I'm going to attempt to get that fender back a little bit. Basically, I'm going to, you'll get to see it. But basically, the goal is to kind of cheat it here and here and move the fender back a little bit and get it to where it's almost touching that, and that will cut that gap in half. So then that will be fine, but it's going to move the gap issue to here. So it's basically like the 70. You can have everything as good as you can get it, but you're going to run into something that's going to be really bad. Or you can have everything off a little bit, and then it's not near as obvious. But then you got people at car shows telling you about it. Oh, and to mention it, yeah, I know. That window's the blue window, the vent window, and the quarter glass isn't. The windshield's also factory, and the rear one's also factory tint. So, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, clear, clear, blue, green, clear. That's what I've got. I've pretty much decided on the best way to fix that problem would be to tint the windows. This car is called the Black Belt Chevelle anyway, right? So it's a marina blue car. It's going to have some black stuff going down the sides, but I might as well just 5% the windows. That kind of whiff them up. It looked pretty good. I can look at this and see it with tinted windows, and that would look pretty good. And probably what I would tint would be just the quarter glasses and the vent windows. I could either not tint the door windows, or I could just go a little bit. That way it would still kind of look black. But I don't really think that I would have the issue with a cop walking up to the car and making me take the tint off, because it's a Chevelle. It's not like it's a Honda. As you've seen when I had the car running, some of the dash lights didn't work. I got on Rock Auto and bought this cheap box of Wagner bulbs. I'm going to replace the blown bulbs, and then we'll see what that looks like. Ideally, I'd have a bright indicator then. Alright, I replaced them all. I was going to try to show you, but this ain't very easy. You can see that one's blowed. A couple of them are, about 3 of them. There's still 2 new ones left. I would have had 3 new ones, but one of them was already broken in the package, so that's promising. But I want to keep all of them in the car, so maybe I can keep it working for a little bit, even if I have to put a used bulb back in it. I want to show you what up in the dash of one of these cars looks like, because I figured there's a few people on here that may have never seen one. See, the old stuff like this didn't have circuit boards. Everything's got wires. So the sockets with the gray wire going into them, those are normal illumination wires. Turn signals and all that. I replaced all of them. Sockets. The sockets really are not that good. You can kind of imagine. Now we're going to see if the only bulb I didn't replace is that one, because it's working. And I'm currently hunting for a complete heater control assembly anyway. Oh, and that wire, that wire is the TAC feed wire, right? That's the signal wire. The brown wire is the signal wire. That runs the TAC. This wire, I think, is turn signal. I think. It's a blue-green looking wire. Either way, I know it went to the TAC. I just don't know what it did. So, I want to hook the battery up, and then we'll see what all lights up. If anything, it might have made it all quit. Who knows? You might not be able to tell it, but it's a lot more evenly lit now. Before, I had a bright spot over here, nothing here, one down here, and one up here. All this is lit. So, yes. That means that one's break, right? All right. All right. I'm happy there. So since this is a factory blinker TAC car, there isn't a socket in that hole at all. there is over here. So that one will work. I could put a socket on that wire and have that working, but I don't want it to work because it's not supposed to have a bulb in it. It would have been in the tack. So if I ever get a tack, I can fix that then. We don't exactly have anything. So everything else is working. Horn circuit does too. It's too aggravating to show you. But if you ground the horn wire inside the car, the relay clicks on. I just don't have a horn. Oh, and because I hadn't showed you, front part of the carpet's back in it. I still gotta get it a little bit further forward because I want it to be tucked up in there as tight as I can get it all the way across. Honestly, almost as high as that insulation is. I don't want any gaps. I don't want that gap. The one under the heater box, I don't want that gap there. And that should take care of my hole not lining up now, which that was always cut small anyway. What I decided to use for insulation, I've actually done a few things. That is similar to boom mat or anything like that. It's a rubber self-adhesive full-backed tape that's like flashing tape is what that's like. I've got a roll of that and I've used about half of it. There's some on the firewall behind the heater box and stuff. And this is carpet underlayment, jute carpet underlayment from like a house or a camper or anything. A friend of mine got that out of he got it somewhere. I don't know where he got it. It don't really matter where he got it. It matches that kind of stuff. So I have doubled up the insulation because that was a Rock Auto carpet kit. It had minimum insulation on it, so I only had underneath my feet before. This is going to double up on that, and I'm running it plumb back to the, well, I'm going to run it on all the way back to the back of the car to there. That's all going to be insulated, and the firewall's insulated double. The plan is I'm going to put some over that hole, taping it on or whatever. I'm going to seal those holes up and put some over through here, and then I'm making a door panel out of either race car sheet aluminum or single ply flooring, whatever, paneling, something. I'm going to make something to fit this, and then I'm going to wrap it in blue vinyl, or maybe blue. I've considered blue crushed velvet, just to be different. This car's not stock, so I can make the door panels out of crushed velvet, and that panel below the window out of that, and make it, 70s and 80s, because, people didn't used to make aftermarket door panels. You had to make something. So I could either diamond pleat it or just roll it around it. But all that's getting a piece of this. I'm not really finishing back here until I've done that, because I want to be able to roll the insulation forward and preferably not catch the car on fire. But all this is getting insulated. All this is getting finished up. I don't want to hear rattles and stuff going down the road like I had to deal with last year. That's getting better. You did have to really rear back and slam it, but it's getting better. You couldn't, before I messed with the door and pushed it on further back, you couldn't even get it within a foot of the door jamb. It was way too tight. That's going to be all right. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I mean, I know it's a lot more talking than I'm sure a lot of you like to see, but I wanted to show you some stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.